I'm back. Welcome to Anything Relevant, and I'm just going to give you an update. I'm still on my scheduled time for stress leave, and I've done my paperwork. I've put myself on a couple wait lists for seeing specialists, and in the meantime, while waiting, I've been failing pretty much every day on making a routine, a schedule. I've been cooking for myself more, which is good. I cleaned my room. I guess that is part of a routine. I pretty much tidy up my room every day. I've been spending too much time in my room. That's it's a red flag giveaway, and I need to do less of that. I need to get outside every day to do something. It's hard though, not physically hard. It's mentally hard. It's like having a heavy blanket, an invisible heavy blanket that's just draped over you. And it's just so much easier to sit there and space out and lose time. Think about what you need to do. Think about what you should have done. Think about what you're afraid to do. You mostly just think about, well, for me anyway, a bunch of shoulda, woulda, couldas. Not really that productive. And sitting around, watching stuff, reading stuff. I'm trying to write more. I got like a page written yesterday. I've had other days where I've written 8 pages. So that's the range. I'm trying to be productive and trying to make a habit, make a rhythm. I'm trying to write more because I want writing to actually be a part of my life. And, I need to eat more. I don't eat a lot like this. I, they say there's 2 types of people. People, you do one thing or you do the other. Well, I'm the type that when things get hard, I eat less. I know people that when things get hard, they eat more. No judgment. I got none. None on that. But it's all on how you manage it. And for me, it tends to kind of occupy the majority of my time as spacing out on what I want to do. Spacing out on the whole range of what it is I want out of life, or what I want to do today, or do tomorrow, do this year. But it's like, feathers in the wind. Not really getting anything done. So, this is why I'm trying to write more, so I actually have something proven that I've done. I also want to go out and exercise on a regular basis. Maybe not every day. Maybe every other day. But I gotta start. But then I make all the excuses. Well, a little late today, isn't it? Halfway done. Why start now? You should have done it in the morning. So I create all these excuses for myself on talking myself out of it. Things that I've recognized about myself. And it's not like I'm not doing anything to battle my depression and my anxiety, considering how serious it is. I do watch a bunch of philosophy videos. These help me become more aware of myself in combating anxiety and depression. None of these videos are going to cure me. I know that. None of them are going to cure me. But the the thing about all these videos, okay, so Alan Watts, philosopher, Jordan Peterson, he's a professor, I believe it's psychology. Then there's also watching the Joe Rogan Experience podcast with the wide range of guests. You know, some of them are like celebrities that, got in there through comedy or other athletes. But no matter what walk of life these people are, doctors, athletes, celebrities that he has on there, is that a lot of these people have had hardships, and Joe Rogan is a little attracted to that. He had a little bit of hardship growing up, but he's known people with very severe hardships. I'm not going to say comparably to him that they were worse, because I think pain is relevant, just like art, just like pretty much anything. It's all relevant to the individual's perspective. What would be traumatizing and horrifying to one person is just a Tuesday for another. But to get that person into the red zone of trauma because of where they're at and what it is, I don't think you can justifiably compare that, being like, well, my trauma is worse than your trauma. I don't think that works that way. So I watch his podcast to learn more, as much as I can, about being self-aware and how to conduct yourself, how to treat yourself, with all these people that have climbed out of it. So here's the part that I'm struggling with, is that without seeing these specialists and just going off of these people talking, the most that I get out of it is awareness and how to recognize my own behavior. I've almost turned myself into a prison guard prisoner type relationship, and it's not working for me. I know what I need to do. I know what I should do. I know all these things that I should be doing on a daily basis, but I only get a pinch of it in a day. And I don't know how these people do it. These succeeding people, these driven people. Like when I focus on something, I think I'm like anyone. I get the job done. But why can't I do it on things that I know will make my life better? Well, that's not looking at a door and not wanting to go through. That's walking past doors, not seeing them. And I believe that's where I'm at right now. I'm walking through this house trying to get out. And I'm walking past all these doors, but when I walk past them, this little deceiver in me is finding all these ways. That's not the right door. You go out that door, you're going to end up over here, which means you're going to have to go do that, which means you're going to have to go ask this person, which means you're going to have to go get permission from that person, which means you got to save up money for this. And I just talk myself right out of it. So I've turned myself into a prison guard type of mental relationship with my emotions and my mind, and it's not working. I'm trying to take just little steps just to make them more common. And that I only do with hope. Just hope that it'll amount to something. I'm waiting to see these specialists to see what more I can add. Because I do feel like I've got potential and I'm lying dormant. I feel like even though I get up and breathe and live a day, I'm in this chrysalis type stage, this hibernation mode. And it's frustrating because I've been kind of in this holding pattern for a long time. And it bothers me. I see people enjoy a day and I know that if I put myself in those circumstances, I wouldn't be able to enjoy it as deeply because of what's rattling around in my head all the time. So it's not enough to just see somebody, and it's not enough just to listen to somebody on the internet. There's action that is needed. It's required. And I've watched other people just change their life. They just start exercising more, or they just completely change their diet. I've got this amazing roommate that changed his body just by having a different diet. I watch people just put effort forward and change the dynamic. It almost seems like there is a regime change in them. And I try to understand it. And here's another thing. I also try to recognize in myself, what would I have done if this was 5 years ago? Whatever crossroad I come across, what would I have done 5 years ago if I had crossed this threshold? And I also think, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, how would I have reacted? Would I have been proud of my interactions or shameful? And the thing is, I got a bad habit of being really hard on myself. So when I ask these type of questions, I just go down this really hurtful road and self-abuse. But here's the thing about that. It's bad. I know. I've got really close friends that tell me I got to stop doing that. I know. But here's the thing about it, though. Those are red flags, though, for me to recognize that when I go through the memory banks and I start doing that old behavior. One thing that remains different, though, between now and then is that I'm not him. I'm not that guy from 5, 10, 15 years ago. If they were transplanted into my literal socks and shoes, I would have, I know I'd have more issues that I would be creating. My temperament, how easily scared I would get back then, how easily angry I would get back then, how I would embrace whatever decision I made, regardless of the mood I was in. So I know I've changed, and I'm trying to acknowledge that. I'm trying to acknowledge that this growth is change. People don't change. Stagnant people don't change. People that don't want to grow don't change. Everybody changes. Everybody grows unless you make a point to not go any further. This happens with people that get a steady job and a steady relationship and things are fine. Fast forward 5, 10 years and it's no longer, happy. It's no longer stable. Those are gone. And I think that just from an uneducated person like myself, I think that is in that field, that's what that is. It's an element of complacency with no choice of growth. So you got to be careful. You got to grow. I've said this in the past. Do you want to drink stagnant water or moving water? Right? That's emotional too. That's mental too. That's physical too. That's important in all three domains of reality. And I say that on purpose. I say it just like that on purpose. There is a mental reality, an emotional reality, and the physical reality here. And I gotta tell you, this physical reality is unlike the other two. in every regard. No matter how twisted and bent you get mentally and emotionally, life is a completely different animal. You know, and that's the thing that we gotta get past, is that there are these different layered realities that are happening. Animals have caring and compassion. You keep seeing it in videos where they interact with humans and try to comfort them, or they know that they need comfort, so they go to them. You see them protect their owners and their family members. I've seen cats protect babies of the house. You know, like a 2-year-old running around in the front yard, and a neighborhood dog is barking and moving in on this little kid, and this cat comes out of nowhere and pounces on the dog and keeps the kid safe. So there is a type of consciousness and perceptive understanding of the world that we live in, even among animals. And if that's true, then they're making choices to protect, to give affection. You know, that we got to understand that that's really happening. And if that's happening, we're not the only ones that are clever. We're just the most clever. Now, with that being said, we got to, why I say that is that we have this twisted sense of what the world is, that it's sunshines and roses, and it's bad people that make it bad. Well, I just mentioned all those animal stories that show you that it almost transcend the perception that we have of animals. But yet, with that same thing happening, a pack of wiener dogs ran down a woman and killed her. In the United States, you can read about that. You can also, you don't need to read about this though, but you know this to be the truth just by hearing stories. Bears kill people. Cougars kill people. Wolves kill people. Sharks kill people. Do they kill people as much as people that kill people? No. But nature has a level of compassion, and there's also an area in nature where there is a absence of compassion. And this is that physical world that I want to talk about, why it's unlike the mental world and the emotional world. Is that there is an element that I believe to be devoid of meaning. Just is. And I think that I'm on the right path with that type of thinking, that's what makes life so beautiful, though. If there is a lack of meaning, let's say I'm 100% true. There's no meaning. Aliens come, God comes down, you know, an ancient being comes back, whatever. There's no meaning. I just made a bunch of planets and I just thought, let's see what happens. Let's say that's the truth. That's what makes life so beautiful. Just in that alone. Because if you have that in mind and you look around at this world that we live in and see all the construction and all the innovation, you can look at that in horror for what we've done, but you can also look at that with beauty, with all the things that we've achieved. We achieved so much in a reality without meaning. That's phenomenal. And I know, like an invisible barrier keeping you safe, like the invisible barrier that keeps the earth from cooking, that magnetic shielding that we have, protecting us from the sun. We have meaning that we've created to be like that electromagnetic shielding that's in front of us. And wherever we go, it's already there before us. We've created this meaning, whether it's religion or political parties or how you interact with your community or your family. We've made meaning. And that in itself is also a very beautiful thing. I'm no longer a religious person, but I don't persecute the religious. I don't. Religion has made some very beautiful things. They've also saved millions of lives, even though they've damaged millions of lives. And it goes into that whole areas of compassion and areas devoid of compassion. Is that just like the animal kingdom, there's animals that protect family, and there's other animals that chew dispassionately while they chew on their victim. That is in the world that we live in. That happens on the surface of this planet with bears and other animals that just don't care about what they're eating. And I think that manifests in humanity with choices of if we use this chemical in our product, it'll cut down the manufacturing price and we'll gain a profit by first quarter. But there is a chance that there is a percentage of the population that's going to react poorly to this material. Our settlements will be minimal compared to a recall. That, to me, that negligence by choice, because profits and settlements will exceed profits than a recall. The moment humans pick these type of choices, not this very exact choice, but I hope you understand the characteristic I'm trying to display here, is that to me is no different than that wolf pack not caring about that elk they're eating. You know, like, don't kill the wolves, don't kill the wolves. Well, are you a farmer out in the rural area of your province or state or country that you live in? If you live in the cities and you're like, don't kill the wolves, don't kill the wolves, what right do you have to even have that discussion? You're not out where the wolves are, killing all the cattle, killing all the sheep, killing all the chickens, killing all the dogs, killing all the cats. You're not out there. You're not out there at all. And this is what I'm getting at when it comes to humans. We've made these three layers of reality. Some of these bubbles got to pop. And I know that the proper step is education. No force, no anger, no intensity, just compassionate education. And I believe that compassionate education is the thing that will set us free. It's the thing that will save us. It's the characteristic of human nature to teach others, to have them not waste their time with mistakes. That is going to be the thing that pulled us from living in caves to colonizing the moon, colonizing Mars, whatever it is that we choose to travel all the way to Europa. If that's the planet name, I can't remember the planet name. But anyway, so that's my point, is that I can listen to all these people talk. Okay, that's good. So when I come across it, I'm more aware. I can recognize it. All right, then. I can go see a specialist. Keep me more on point. That's even better. Education. And I'm hoping that last part gets me the thing that I've been denying myself the whole time, is action. I am not active enough in saving myself. I need to work out more. I need to eat a proper diet, better than I'm currently eating. Eat regularly. Keep a schedule of when I wake up and when I eat. and when I work out. If I can keep a schedule of those three things and not work out every day, not every day, like I say, every 2 days, every other day, whatever I can manage. Let's say I do it every 2 days. 2 days off, 1 day on, rinse and repeat. If I did that, that's taking action. And the reason why people like myself that have anxiety and depression actually need to work out is what it is that you've been living in fear the biggest part of your life or the most recent part of your life. And that energy not spent turns into stagnant water and just poisons you. You got to get it out. You got to go for that run. You got to sweat. You got to get your lungs being like, I'm almost done. You got to get your muscles burning and heavy, like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's weird because the mental area of your existence is an invisible world. Like, if you concentrate on this very moment, the only thing that you're gonna be able to perceive about yourself is what's beyond your eyes. You don't get to look in. All you get to see is the blur of your nose and your hands and your feet. Without looking in front of a mirror, you never know what it's going to be like to look at yourself. A reflection of water, a shiny surface, a mirror. As our consciousness is not something that you can see. Our consciousness is not something that is expressed in a visual aspect of reality. It's this in your head, in your body existence, like an internal matrix, like an internal program. And it lies to you. It tells you the truth. It does everything it thinks with all the material available to it, that it's doing everything it's supposed to keep you alive. Now, do you want an uneducated, poorly informed, no disciplined steward taking over your mind that is half blind? Or would you like as much as you can muster in education and experience in dealing with what's in front of you and discipline to back it? Do you want that? That's what I want. And I know I'm lacking it. I know that's what's holding me back from having as much as I can out of this life. I'm pretty much halfway through my life, and I don't even feel like I've started yet. That I've had this phantom, just like tar, draped all over my invisible reality, making me sluggish with decisions and full of doubt, self-doubt, fear, all of it. I share this with you guys as an update because maybe my words will speak to you and you'll understand where I'm coming from, or maybe you'll understand yourself more if you struggle with something I'm struggling with as well. That this can enlighten you. Or if you have a friend, someone that you really care about, and they're in a dark place, maybe share this with them. I know I'm not alone, and I know I've got a good support network of people that care for me. I know I have that. I'm very blessed to have that. Not everyone has it, and I know that. Maybe that's another reason to spread this, is for people that feel that they don't have enough to support them. But I share all this to show you that even with all this lack of forward progress, that I still have the confidence to know that I am, regardless of what I want, is that I am moving forward. I don't like speed. but I don't like slow. Like if you go too fast for me, I get nervous. I'm not confident at the highest speeds. I'm a thinker, and at that point, I'm relying on instincts, and that usually gets me scared. When you go too slow, I get impatient. I need to move. And I've been trying to understand who I am instead of dictating who I think I am to myself. Like I wanted to say, I'm impatient. I don't like going slow. These are declarations. You got to be careful with declarations of who you are, because every single time you repeat these declarations of who you think you are, you're kind of making it more true, or at least shackling yourself to it. And I think the latter more. And when you shackle yourself to something that you repeat all the time, and it's not actually true, it's going to feel like a lie. It's going to be empty, but there's going to be anxiety that is attached to that, because now you got to live up to a lie. Because you know that if you're a whatever, fill in the blank, then when you meet that other person out in the world that has the same thing about themselves, but they're for real, then you can see the difference and you realize you have been lying to yourself. Maybe that you're even right, but it's an amateurish pinch compared to a champion quantity. Like your pinch is just not enough. I just want to have a realistic understanding of who I am, and I don't want to lie to myself anymore. I want to accept what it is that's true. And I got too caught up in a romantic view of who I am. There was a lot of romanticism towards the image that I would project as well as repeat, as well as think that I'm walking when I leave my front door. So I'm working on all that, and more than anything, I'm just wanting a routine, a schedule that I can keep to, because I know it'll be the thing that will change my life for the better. And I hope you reach it as well. I hope you turn your life around. I hope you grab life with both hands and push forward and admit that you do have fear and admit that you do have anger, but you're not going to use them poorly. That you're going to use them with compassion. You're going to use anger with compassion. I know that doesn't sound right, but it'll sound right if you know what I mean. And most of all, thank you. Thank you for dropping by again. And sorry that these videos have gotten less and less lately, and it has to do more and more with my struggle. And I hope to turn it around. Thanks for dropping by. Have a good day.